So today's date, the 21st of October, 2020. So Sam, what flag is this?
Dominica flag.
That's right, that's the flag of Dominica. It was designed while I was moving from the Dominica Grammar School to the Sixth Form College by our favorite teacher of the day. Well, there are many favorite teachers, but he was special to us, Alwin Bully. So, in 1972, I entered the grammar school and he was our art teacher. Wonderful artist. And we'd go to the technical wing and he would teach people like myself, Linton Scotland, Mark Frampton, Jeff Challenger, Emmanuel Finn, Tony Charles, Michael and Peter Garraway, all the boys of that time, art. And he was also a costume designer. No word yet on the flag. We're still an associated citizen. Alwin Bully came from a very, what you would consider in Dominica of the day, an aristocratic family, people who descended from the British folk intermingling their blood with that of Africans. And his father had been a senior civil servant. His brother Colin Bully was, I think, the chief agricultural officer. And very handsome family, very kind, very distinguished. And he'd gone to the University of the West Indies to study, I think, literature or the arts. And he came back and was teaching us. And he was very kind, very committed, very loving. He was passionate about teaching art, literature. He was also an actor. He was part of the People's Action Theatre and wrote plays. He was a playwright. So not only was he a teacher of English and English literature, he was a playwright, he was a graphic artist, he was also a costume designer. So he was a multifaceted gentleman. Very soft-spoken, very eloquent, right? Handsome man. As a matter of fact, at one point, he acted as Jesus in a play, a rendition of Jesus Christ Superstar. He also acted in Speak Brother Speak. He was a member of the People's Action Theatre, and I did one or two little things, but there were people like Roger Atherley, now Shabazz of the Muslim Store, people like Daniel Corridoran, a lot of young Dominicans, cut their teeth in acting with the People's Action Theatre. So in 1972, I helped him build a costume for Miss Thomas from Marigot, who went up for the Junior Queen, and she won. And we worked on that costume all week. And on the last day, when the tickets came, the complimentary tickets, so a bunch of young girls showed up who'd never done anything, and they gave the tickets away to them. And I said, Mr. Bully, I didn't get a ticket. He says, oh, shucks, Gabe. Okay, you help me push the costume into the park, and you can stay. So that's how I ended up, being in the park. But I've been with him since first form, and we had a good bond. He actually talked about the first video camera that came to Dominica, to the Teachers College. He took a group of us to act. Again, Matt Frampton, I think Tony Charles, and I'm not sure any Gary brothers, Earl Joseph, and a few others. And we did a Dracula movie and a couple other movies. And that was the first acting I ever did on film. So in the 1970s, we were going through, talk of socialism, black power, black consciousness, independence, supporting the African liberation struggle in Africa, the civil rights movement here, people like, Malcolm X and the Black Panther Party, being on our minds, the movement for New Dominica, the Dread Act, Rastafarianism, reggae music, Bob Marley. It was a time of great cultural ferment where we are getting into trying to understand who we were as a people. And Alwin Bully was part of that ferment, part of that uprising of consciousness. And so he did not take to brutal methods of punishment. He spoke with us, he taught us well. He nurtured our consciousness. And so when the Dominica Cuban Friendship Society was formed by Rosie Douglas in '76, I got Rosie in the classroom because I was deputy head boy in the grammar school to start that. And when they did the first tour to Cuba with Patrick John's wife and others, I lobbied hard for my favorite teacher, the teacher I'd been closest to, Alwin Bully, to go. And when he came back, the movement for independence was on. The Popular Independence Committee was advocating independence. Patrick John was premier. He designed the flag. And what is the connection with that flag and the whole idea of socialism, social justice? The red. The red at the center stood for socialism. The green for our land, the black for African heritage, yellow for Kalinago or Carib heritage, white for or European heritage or purity, or European heritage, and the stars for the parishes of Dominica. So in this moment, I remember Alwin Bully and all he has contributed to our consciousness and to our sense of nationhood. He later, after teaching, became a senior executive with the United Nations organization, UNESCO. United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. I think he was in Jamaica, maybe then Trinidad. His wife, Anita Bully, Nia Astafan is a mathematician, very fine lady, an educator herself, and a very fine couple, and I want to remember them, and I want to remember Alwin for doing this flag, and it was born of a lot of consciousness, a lot of love, and may we always remember his work and strive to teach others in the best way, in the way that he taught us. Thank you, Alwin. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Dominica.